Welcome back. Let's say you have a list of 1,000 books in a library. You don't want to flip through all of them by hand. You want to simply ask the computer a question, like, show me every book's title and author. That's exactly what SOQL lets you do. SOQL stands for Salesforce Object Query Language, but don't worry about the long name. Just think of it as asking Salesforce a question. Every question has two parts. First, you say what you want, that's select. Then you say where to look, that's from. So if I write, select name, author from book, in plain English, I'm just saying, Salesforce, give me the name and author of every book record you have. That's it. That's a complete SOQL query. Now here's a problem. What if you have 1,000 books, but you only want the ones written by a specific author? If you just ask, give me every book, you'll get all 1,000 too many. So we add one more word, where lets you say, only give me the ones that match this condition. For example, select name from book where author equals J.K. Rowling. Now, instead of 1,000 books, you instantly get only the ones written by her. You can also combine conditions using and or, like, author equals J.K. Rowling and genre equals fantasy. Think of where as a filter, the same way you'd filter products on a shopping website by price or brand. Let's say now you got a list of books, but they're in a random, messy order. You want the newest books first. That's what order by does. It simply sorts your results, just like sorting an Excel column from newest to oldest. And what if you only want the top 10 newest books, not all of them? That's what limit does. It just says, stop after this many. So if I write, select name from book order by created date descending limit 10. In plain English, show me the 10 most recently added books, newest first. Simple as that. Sometimes you don't want to see every single book. You just want a quick summary number. For example, how many books does each genre have? You don't need a list of 1,000 books to answer that, you just need a count. This is called an aggregate query, and it has simple helper words. Count tells you how many. Sum adds numbers together. Average tells you the average. And group by organizes the count by category, like grouping by genre. So, select genre, count, ID, from book group by genre, answers, how many books are in each genre in one go, like a quick summary table instead of a giant list. Here's something every beginner finds confusing at first, but it's actually simple once you see the real-life version. Imagine every book has an author, and that author is stored as its own separate record, not just a text field. Now, what if I'm looking at a book and I want to know the author's email address too? I need to reach across from the book to the author. That's called a relationship query. Going from book to author is like asking, tell me about my parent. We call this child to parent, and you write it with a dot, like author _ email. Going the other way, starting at an author and asking show me every book they wrote, is like asking tell me about my children. We call this parent to child, and you write it with a small question inside the main question using brackets. Same relationship, just asked from two different directions. Let's end with a few simple habits that will save you from big headaches later. First, never ask the same question over and over inside a loop. Imagine asking the librarian the same question 200 times instead of once. That's slow, and Salesforce actually has a limit on how many questions or queries you're allowed to ask at once. So always ask one big question that gets everything you need instead of many small ones. Second, only ask for the information you actually need. If you only need the name, don't also request 10 other fields you won't use. And third, there's a safety phrase you can add called, with security enforced. Think of it like saying, only show me what I'm actually allowed to see, which protects your data automatically. Remember this one golden rule. Ask once for everything you need instead of asking many times for little bits. So far, we've only been asking questions and reading data. Now let's actually change something. Imagine a new book just arrived at the library, and you need to add it to the system for the very first time. That action is called insert, and insert simply means create something brand new. In code, you build the new book record, fill in its details like name and author, and then say insert, and Salesforce gives that book its own unique ID number, like a library card number, and saves it permanently. One tip: If 50 new books arrive at once, don't insert them one by one. Collect them all into a single list first, then insert that whole list together. It's much faster, just like checking in 50 books in one trip instead of 50 separate trips. Now imagine a book already exists in the system, but you need to fix a typo in its title. This is called update, and the most important rule is, the book must already exist in the system with its own ID number before you can update it. So the process is always, first, find the book you want to fix. Second, change the part that's wrong. Third, save it using update. A common beginner mistake is trying to update something that was never actually saved yet. That's like trying to correct a library card for a book that was never checked in. Always find it first, then fix it. Here's a handy shortcut. Imagine you get a big spreadsheet of 500 books from another library, and you don't know which ones you already have and which ones are brand new. Checking each one manually would take forever. Upsert solves this automatically. Its name literally combines update and insert. You just say upsert this list, and for each book, Salesforce checks, do I already have this one? If yes, it updates it. If no, it creates it as new. You don't have to figure that out yourself. Salesforce does the thinking for you. This is perfect for importing data from outside sources. Now imagine a book is damaged beyond repair and needs to be removed. That's delete. But here's the comforting part. When you delete something in Salesforce, it doesn't disappear forever right away. It goes into a recycle bin. Just like deleting a file on your computer, and it stays there safely for 15 days. One thing to know, if a book record has other smaller records strongly attached to it, like individual page scans that only exist because of that book, deleting the book will also automatically delete those attached records. What if someone deletes a book by mistake? As long as it's still within that 15-day recycle bin window, you can use Undelete to bring it right back. And it even keeps its original ID number, so anything that was already connected to it can reconnect properly. Think of it exactly like restoring a file from your computer's trash folder before it's permanently gone. Sometimes the same book accidentally gets added to the system twice, maybe with slightly different spelling like Harry Potter and Harry Potter Book 1. Now you have duplicates, which is confusing. Merge lets you combine those duplicate records into just one final record. You pick which version should be the main one, and Salesforce automatically moves over anything connected to the duplicates, like checkout history, onto that single final record. Just know this only works on a few specific types of records, and you can only merge up to 3 at a time. Last one, and this is a fun one. Imagine you're standing at the library's front desk and you say, search everything for the word Potter. Not just books, but also authors and members, all at once. That's exactly what SOSL does. Where our earlier SOQL questions could only search one type of thing at a time, like just books, SOSL searches across several types at once, using normal, flexible text, just like typing into a search bar. In fact, that search bar at the very top of Salesforce, the one every user sees, is powered by SOSL behind the scenes.